Hello everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. It's a bit of an impromptu one, but it was very timely, so I really needed to get on today and share what I'm about to share with you. So if you are on, please let me know, and if you can let me know if you can see and hear me. Drop a 1 in the comments below for me. That would be fabulous if you are live. In the meantime, as I'm waiting for people to hop on, I'm just going to quickly check and see if I am live on Facebook. Yep, okay, we're looking good. Yeah, all right, so that's that. 1 second. All right, yeah, looking good. Okay, so hi Steph, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Loving the hearts already. Thank you, love. Thank you. So glad you can join me because this is a biggie. As I'm sure you already know, being in the field yourself, you'll know a lot about this kind of thing too. So feel free to share your insights too in the comments. It's always great to chat and connect, and same with all of you watching. And if you're watching on the replay, anything that you hear or resonate with, please do let me know. And even if you don't actually, please let me know in the comments, and let's have a dialogue. Let's talk about this because emotions are things that we feel but don't necessarily talk a lot about. So I'm bringing it out in the open today. So without further ado, let's get going. Yeah, well, like I said, it's a very timely subject. And if, by the way, you're watching this on the replay and you don't know who I am, I'll just do a very, very quick intro. I am Gia Lily. I'm an intuitive love and relationship coach, and I support high achieving, intuitive or spiritually open-minded men and women who really are looking to weed out the time wasters so that they can step into love and attract their soulmate or life partner. Okay, so that's what I help with. Yes, so so today's topic is emotions running high, the reasons why, and what you can do about it. Now, here's an interesting thing. I don't know about you, but certainly from the people that I've been talking to over the last certainly 24 hours and even today, and actually I had a little wobble myself, so I can even talk a little bit about what's been coming up for me as well. But really this is about being aware of these emotions coming up. Like, have you been feeling tearful or anxious or angry or frustrated recently? Like I say, like in the last certainly 24 to 48 hours, what's been going on for you? Because this is what I'm really talking about today, and shed a little light on what's going on here. I mean, obviously you're the one who's feeling these things and you think, we know what's going on here. Now, I'm going to talk very specifically about the romantic situation that you're in or not in, because hey, I'm a love and relationship coach, so I am going to be focusing on that. But it's also, it could be about all sorts of things, but of course my focus is on the love, dating, romance, non-romance side of things. Okay, so I'm going to certainly be talking to that part, but this could even apply to your business situation or something else going on. So you may find this valuable in other ways if it isn't directly connected to love. But those of you who know me and follow what I do, that it's gonna be oriented towards love, romance, relationships, dating, all that good stuff. Or maybe not good stuff. I don't know. It all depends on how you're viewing it. And this is what I want to talk to you about today. It's like, what's come up for you? How are you feeling? What is going on in here? Like in your mind, in your brain, because at the moment, it seems like there is a lot of fragility certainly like being very sensitive, like certainly when it comes to the mind, and being very sensitive and aware of what our thoughts are doing. You know, it's like our mind is like taking over the show. It's like if you're experiencing mental confusion, or, you know, like I was saying, like extreme emotions, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling frustrated, what's going on with that? What's coming up for you at the moment, which is really pressing your buttons? All right, because for some people, they really have experienced either real lows or, you know, like a real visceral anger or frustration. Now, emotions have their, what's the word? They have their function. They have their reason for coming up. So what I always say to my clients is that, you know, allow those emotions to come through, because one of the things that tends to happen is like, well, no, I can't talk about my emotions, or I can't show them. You know, I actively, you know, encourage my clients, if they feel like crying in a session, I absolutely encourage that, because, you know, it's a form of release. You know, it's part of the process, because bottling it up or covering it up in some way only stifles it, and really it just makes it worse. So I always say, if you're feeling angry, frustrated, if emotional in some way or another, let it out, release it, allow it all to come out as well, you know, because when we get upset about things, the natural reaction is like somebody will hand you a Kleenex and they'll say, come on, cheer up, everything will be okay. Well, that's fine. Like, we could take ourselves out of that emotion. But here's the thing. If you haven't processed everything, you haven't released everything that needs to come out right then and there, you'll end up crying again later on. You know, it comes up and you know, and then you might get well-meaning advice, say, well, come on, you know, it's not that bad, or whatever. You get triggered over and over again. I realize as you use the word triggered, now that could trigger a few people. But, you know, what I'm trying to say is, like, if this response is coming up for you again and again, it's because you're still releasing it. Let me see what's going on in the comments. Yeah, absolutely, Steph. Yeah, release. It's all part of the process. It needs to come out, and allow it to come out in full force. I mean, obviously, if you can do it in a way which isn't harming anybody else in the process, even better, you know, and that's what I would highly recommend. Like, yeah. Yes, so where am I going with this? I'm sorry, I'm just like in channel mode and it's just all coming out. So yeah, yeah, release. So it's important to allow it all to come out, whether you feel like crying, whether you feel like punching a pillow, whatever it is, do it. But obviously, like I say, in a safe, controlled manner. Okay? If you want to go scream, scream. Let it out. So yeah, that's what I would say, instead of like just trying to stifle it and bottle it up and like pretend that everything's okay when it's not. Okay? Now, you may be feeling frustration that like there's nothing happening with your love situation, for instance. Okay? Or you may be frustrated that, you know, or you may be tearful because you think, for goodness sake, I've just been ghosted again. You know, or whatever it might be in that situation that you're in. It's like, oh, for goodness sake, you know, whatever that situation it is that's really got your, you know, your emotions running high. It's basically getting your attention to say, look, whatever this is, it needs attention, you know, because here's the thing. We know that emotions pass. You know, you have a good cry and you feel better about it afterwards, yeah, because you've released it. But here's the thing, and here's a question for you. Have you really released it? Because as I was saying earlier on, when you release, like you release at that time, but if it's coming back to you again and again and again, so let's say you've had a good cry today and you think, okay, well, I feel much better now. If that same issue comes up and bites you a week later, and you're crying over it again, you haven't fully released it, right? You know, and the thing is, you know, it could even be weeks that everything appears to be okay, and then it comes to bite you. It could be months later on. But here's the thing, what I'm asking you really to think about is that thing which really upsets you about your love life, your dating life, whatever it is. If it hasn't been resolved, if it's not within days or weeks or months or years, if it's still coming up for you, it means it hasn't been resolved. Okay? And that's really important to take a look at. And the other thing which can happen also is like, if your reaction changes, but that underlying thing which is, you know, which is still there causing you emotional distress and is blocking you from moving forward in finding love or attracting love or even maintaining and sustaining it in a relationship, what can happen is that your reaction could change. So like it can metamorphose into a different way of showing up. And we know this to be the case because even psychotherapists tell us this as well, that when they're working with their patients in psychotherapy, if something, and they'll notice that there's a pattern going on, and they'll even see how that issue is still there, but it's then morphed itself into another way of showing up. So the thing is, like, people think, oh, you know, I've resolved this now. But the thing is, if the core issue is still there, it's going to carry on rearing its ugly head, and it's going to keep on morphing and changing. So it's not really resolved. And it could still cause that barrier to you attracting the kind of person that you want to have in your life. It can potentially block you from maintaining and sustaining a loving relationship. Because here's the thing, I've said this before and I'll say it again. You're always attracting. Attraction isn't the problem. We look at what you're attracting into your life, why you're attracting it into your life. You know, how can you shift this? Right? And if it's not going away, it's because something hasn't been resolved. I've seen this over and over again with my healing clients, essentially, and it's something that I really support them with as well. And we clear that because I don't know whether you know this, but I'm also an energy healer. So we have that element into what I do. This is why I'm also an intuitive love and relationship coach, because yes, the strategies are there, the tactics are there, the personalized support is there, but the extra stuff is the unseen, the stuff that you're not able to get to consciously. That's where I come in, you see. I can help you with all the subconscious stuff. So I just wanted to make you aware that, you know, this goes on. It's like, you know, the emotions can pass you that, okay, well, I got it. I'm good now. I've done. It's cleared. But if it comes up again, like I say, if it comes up again in a couple of weeks' time, in a couple of months' time, in a couple of years' time, then it hasn't been resolved. It hasn't been resolved. So I'm just clarifying, you know, why this comes up. So like I say, right, with emotions, they come up and tell you that, hang on a second, we're not done yet. There's still stuff that we've got to resolve. So use your emotions as markers. As look, what are you telling me? You know, and use that frustration or that anger or whatever that emotion is for you and work out why it's coming to you. If you can't, I can certainly help with that. Like I say, we go much deeper. We get to the core issues so they don't rear their ugly head, so they don't sabotage your soulmate attraction process, or at least like maintaining a loving relationship, right? So yeah, I wanted to bring this up about emotions today because, yeah, they are trying to tell you something, okay? So like I say, the questions you really need to start thinking about is this. Is this the first time this feeling has come up in connection to the thing which is bothering me the most? That's the first question to ask yourself. Second question, how long has this been coming up for me? How long has this been going on for? Yeah. Like I say, the thing is, we know that emotions pass. We feel better. But if it hasn't been resolved, it'll come back again in a different way, as I've said. So, it's really important to recognize that. Really important to recognize that. So that you can do something about it. That's the main thing. It's like, okay, so what can I do about this thing? What do I do if I don't know what the subconscious things are? What if I don't know what's getting in the way of me attracting love into my life? Or if I get a good guy or a good woman, why do they not stay in my life? Those kind of things. Why isn't he or she attracted to me? What am I giving out? There could be a myriad of questions going on for you. Thinking, well, why is this happening? Or why is this not happening? Right? Either way, depending on your situation. And if you're in that space and you're thinking, well, what can I do about it? Because I don't know what to do. No worries. That's exactly what I help with. So we can certainly work through that in a one-to-one capacity, just like a one session thing, where we can actually discover what's going on. Should I say uncover what's going on for you and why and what you can do about it as well. Because here's the thing. Yes, I work intuitively, but I'm also very proactive. I look at solutions for you and with you so that you can resolve these things. So you can become aware of the mental patterns or the behavioral patterns which are essentially holding you back. Yeah. So that's what I do. And if that's something that you want to know more about, get in touch. I don't have, unfortunately, I don't have a page to send you to. So, you will need to reach out. I actually have my last 5 remaining spots for my one-on-one session. And it is a one-off, right? Where we can go through all of this. Okay, and we can get very clear on what is holding you back and what you can do about it. That's the most important thing. It's like, okay, use this point and say, what can I do about it? How can I move past this? If you've truly had enough of being stagnant and really want to see a shift forward in your love situation, I would highly recommend grabbing one of the remaining 5 spots left for this, because after this as well, these sessions aren't going to be any more, because this is something that I work through with my clients when I'm working with them during our single to soulmate, coaching program. So this isn't something that I'm going to be offering to the public on a one-off session anymore. After these 5 spots, they're gone. That's it. The only time that you'll get this kind of support will be in my program. Okay. So if you want it, get in touch with me. Send me a Facebook message. If you're on Facebook, send me a Facebook message. If you're on Instagram, direct message me. You'll actually even see this on Instagram, and if you're on YouTube, then send me a message too. You've got ways of getting hold of me through there. So just telling you that if this is what you want and need the most support with, get in touch, because there are only 5 spaces left on this. Because these are the last 5 spots, I am giving this away practically at 50% saving. So you really do want to get on this, unless you want to jump in and get this kind of support on a 3-month basis. So it's entirely up to you. If you really are ready to shift this, reach out to me as soon as possible, because we're not even in the middle of the week yet, and I have 5 spots remaining at the moment. So if you want it, let me know. Get in touch. Okay. So that is essentially it. 1 second. I see that there's a lot going on over here. Steffi. Someone had the nerve to call while you're watching. How dare they interrupt? Only kidding. All right, what can people who are already together do to strengthen their connection, especially if they feel they are soulmates? Oh, that's a whole other question and a whole other live stream. But if you want to reach out, if you want to grab one of those spots, then let me know. All right, Steph, because that's not something that I can answer right now, because I'm tuned into a completely different topic. The guides who answer this question aren't here with me right now. All right. So yeah, this was really about the emotions and what you can do about it. All right. If you have any other questions after this or have any insights, again, just drop them in the comments. Or if you feel like, you know what, I'm really done with this, I need to see movement forward, I'm sick and tired of being single, I've tried everything else, I just need momentum now, then let's take a look at what's really holding you back on a subconscious level as well. Yeah, so reach out, send me a private message if you want one of those 5 spots at a 50% saving as well, might I add, because once they're gone, they're gone. I won't be offering this ever again unless we are working one-to-one for a longer period of time. All right, lovely. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate you. And of course, if you love this content, you found this helpful, please share it out. Hit that share button. That'd be fabulous. Alrighty, speak to you all soon. Bye for now.